Hey guys, what's up? I'm back again with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite series, and I've only picked 3 series out because if I included all of my favorite series in this video would probably be an hour or two long because I just love series. I think I love series more than I love standalones. It just really depends on the day and the mood. So the first series I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to talk too much about because you can check out like a more extended explanation for this series on America's first video titled what this is, which is the Selection series by Kiera. And yes, I only have the first 3 books because I've been reading the last 2 books, and in my eyes I see this as like a trilogy and then the next 2 books as a duology. So I've always described the series as Hunger Games meets Cinderella, and I think that, in my opinion, is a really good explanation because it's 35 girls that are competing to become the next queen of the country, and really you should check this out. It's a very good series. Kiera is a wonderful writer. Like, I love her books, and I heard she's working on another book, so like can't wait for that. And I love like the underneath of these because it's just so simple and it has like a little crown and I love it. So really you guys should check out this series. It's the Selection, the Elite, and then the one, and then the next 2 books are called The Hair and the Crown, and that's about her daughter. Again, I'm putting that off. I will read it eventually, I promise. I just have to get the books. Okay, so this next series, and this makes me quite sad because this is like one of my favorite series, and I don't see any other booktubers like reading it or talking about it. It's like I don't know anyone else who has read this series, and yes, this might make people cringe because of I have it in like a mix of paperback and hardback. And no, I did not want to do that. Like, if I had it my way, they would all be in hardbacks, but I was a bit obsessed with actually reading the story rather than on the aesthetic of what it looked like on my shelf. And that is this series. And yes, there's another book in this series coming out this year, and it's called The Arcana Chronicles by Kresley Cole. And it starts off with Poison Princess goes into Endless Night, and then Dead of Winter. Now, this book is like a little novella, that's the word, but I found it very useful to read before the next book, and it's Day Zero, and then Arcana Rising, and there is another book in the series coming out this year. And this book, I mean this series I really enjoyed because it has to do with the tarot cards, like Tarot. I'm not exactly sure how to spell it, and it's like post-apocalyptic. There we go. And all the characters have powers, and I just really enjoyed the series. And like, if you've read this series, you should leave a comment down below so like me and you can talk about it, because like I said, I don't know anyone else who has read the series, which makes me incredibly sad because like I have so many feels about it and I can't share them with anyone. But really, you guys should go check out this series. It's wonderful. She writes very nicely. And like, I've read this book, which is the first book in the series, about maybe 5 times. I know that's a problem, but hey, I have a excuse. I had to like reread this book so I could read this book, and then I had to reread it again for the next book, so forth, so forth. But I think by now I kind of have it a bit memorized, which, I mean, isn't a bad thing. Again, leave a comment down below if you've read this series, because I really need someone to talk with about it. Okay, so my last series I'm going to talk about is, and again, this is a series that I haven't seen other like booktubers talk much about, which again makes me sad because I loved this series, and for me it was a surprisingly quick read, and it is the Chemical Garden Trilogy. 3 books. It starts with Wither, then Fever, and then Sever. And this is again like set in the future where men only live until the age 25 and women only live until the age 20. So women are typically like kidnapped and brought to like the highest of bidder so they can produce like babies to carry on the human race, so forth, so forth. And so our main character gets kidnapped, and she's actually a twin, so her brother is like looking for her and is very interested, and I thought this was quite different from like anything I have ever read. I really enjoyed the series, and like, so the way I read this was I got this book for half price books and read it quickly, and then I didn't have the next 2 books, and I really needed the next 2 books. So like I placed an order on Amazon, and I finished the next 2 books within a weekend. Like read this in a day, read this in a day. Very good. And like the first book, they're all relatively like the same size. It's only 358 pages. I mean, they seem pretty similar in size. Really, I enjoyed this series. I highly recommend it. It's by, which I realized I didn't even tell you who it's by, is Lauren DeStefano, I think, maybe, down there. Anyways, all the books I've talked about in this video will be in the description down below. Again, leave a comment again down below if you've read any of these series. Tell me your thoughts on them. Yeah, see ya!